was like, oh, I got a couple alerts coming in for this, and I saw, hey, $25 million. That sounds interesting. And then it was 25 million, and then the 3 ETH. I think I've been seeing a pattern where when the money gets moved into a new wallet, it'll be like some large amount of DAI, for example, and then 3 ETH. And I'm like, it's like, it makes sense, right? Because gas fees and stuff. They want plenty of ETH to do gas fees if they need to, if gas fees are crazy. But I talked about this yesterday when I talked about rich people making moves and stuff. They don't care about paying gas fees. Like whatever it is, like you're not going to be like, oh no, I don't want to pay this $200 gas fee to move $25 million. Like you just don't care. You're not going to, you're not going to try and lose money, but at the same time, cannot care. You cannot care about that. Rich people have a way different mindset than normal. So like 3 ETH, which is plenty for transactions, even if you got to pay, that's like around 10K, right? So even if you got to pay $1,000 for a transaction to get it through, if you're trying to make a move that may make millions of dollars, you don't care to pay $1,000 ETH transaction. Like you got to, look at different mindsets and stuff on this. So that went through, and then I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then all of a sudden I started getting more alerts and seeing more transactions. I'm like, oh, $25 million. So they approved 25 million. This is what threw me for a loop. I saw they did a cow swap they changed $1 million DAI into 282 ETH. I'm like, okay, they're cool. Don't know what that's for yet, but interesting. And then I saw they approved not just the 1 million, not just 5 million, 10 million. They approved the entire 25 million for cow swap, which makes you think they may be sending that entire $25 million through cow swap at some point, at some time, because they've approved that much. So they're interested in using that much, for example. So, just posted more links for transactions. DBank is really awesome to visualize a lot of stuff too. And then I just kept seeing more and more come in. I was like, man, there's another couple transactions. It just keeps being 1 million DAI. And it looks like, I guess the ETH price moved up to that point. And I guess maybe they're trying to avoid slippage, or I'm not sure like why $1 million, why not, one big, I guess maybe slippage or just, other risk mitigations otherwise. But I saw a couple more. I'm like, man, okay, is this a pattern? It's going to keep, and yes, they did just keep coming. And then shout out to Storyteller. I saw that he got to, he started covering it as well, talking about that. And I'll get to that in a minute because that's an interesting tweet. And then literally I'm like, cow swap Ethereum maker people, do you see all these transactions, all this money coming through buying Ethereum with DAI and all that? So pretty cool. And then, if you want to go to speculation here, Storyteller has been following a lot of the DAI and transaction stuff recently as well. Tweets, over the past hour, 2 wallets directly related to SAC funds have moved 26.5 million DAI. Does really good analysis on this stuff. A lot deeper than what, I don't do deep analysis. I just say, hey, this is what's happening. A lot of times I can see it fast and get to it. But I love the commentary, the analysis, probably using different tools and stuff too. Funds then started to convert to ETH and expect them to be bridged to Pulse soon. So that's an interesting one. So, speculation converted to ETH and then bridging ETH to PulseChain. So yeah, chat, speculate on what do you think bridging the ETH to PulseChain would do. Is there a liquidity play here? Is there more buying going to happen? We can see, let's check out the bridge real quick. See what we got right now, 170 million. So right now, 170 million, and then 30 million of ETH. So will that turn into 50 million ETH bridged over or more? And will that bridged over ETH, will it buy PulseChain, PulseX, Inc., HEX, like the previous entity related stuff have done with, I think that was with DAI though. Or, if you go real DeFi, click on exchange, head to PulseX, we'll look at the farms. We can see there's farms here with ETH, USDC, ETH, DAI, or sorry, this is DAI PLS, USDC PLS and stuff. And then we got the wrapped ETH. So it's a wrapped ETH and PLS farm. So that's the thing though. So if you're thinking liquidity play, even though, look at that APR pretty high. Again, these are all, go check out the different risk factors and why these are weighted certain ways and all that stuff. But, the decorrelated tweet makes me think maybe it's not going to be paired with PLS, because if Richard's suggesting that we're decorrelated, or he wants us to be decorrelated, or otherwise, or other entities want that, then, that would be, maybe it wouldn't go in the pairing for that. If the whole strategy is to be like decorrelated up and to the right, for example, again, just speculation. So pretty cool on that. Who knows what's going to happen? Or buy the HEX and choose through sell. Well, that's an interesting one too. So let's go to info.uniswap. If we type in HEX, even though they won't let you trade it on their platform, but there's plenty of pools available for it. There is a pool. So you got the HEX. So let's just go to HEX and the pools. So we have a HEX USDC pool, 6.93 million TVL. We got $1 million in the ETH pool. So I guess, one speculation you look at too is this an EHEX related play, either liquidity providing or to buy up the EHEX or something? I guess you could go in that direction. Not sure. I dropped this in the chat because if anybody wants to look at it. I just saw that comment and thought, okay, a lot of people are interested in thinking about EHEX. Why isn't it moving? Go to the stats. Nothing much is moving except incentive recently. Recently hit $6, by the way. If you don't know much about incentive token, I did a stream where I covered a lot of that stuff yesterday, and then I've done a ton of content. Just literally, or just go to Real DeFi and click farming. I guess that's the easiest way to get to it. GoRealDeFi.com, learn to earn, click farming. And it'll talk about different incentive token and just all kinds of different videos on my channel and other people's channels and stuff too. So pretty interesting over there. All right, I'll take a break and talk to the chat in just a second. Yeah, and I also dropped the if anyone wants to look at this too, the DBank. I mean, it's in the tweet as well, but here's the portfolio of the wallet. It's been making a lot of transactions. Yeah, $25 million. So a lot of these transactions happened within a couple hours ago. So let's see, like the portfolio. Yeah, got about 4,500 ETH. So we got 9,000 DAI and about 4,500 ETH. Whew. What a great time to be a millionaire, especially in crypto. So, all right, let me get the chat. Transactions, anybody want to see that? Pretty cool. Joey, exciting news, Max. What do you think? Entity swap to DAI for ETH? Yeah, that's the play. We went over a couple of different scenarios. I mean, again, if you frame it in a benevolent way, strategies and stuff, you have liquidity providing, you have buys, you have, I mean, there's been a lot a lot of essentially staking, right? They've been a lot of yield plays just to earn passive income. This one looks way different than the other ones. This is actual swaps from DAI to ETH instead of staking DAI for yield, as we've seen, which, there's different ways to look at that. Is that for perpetual buy pressure over time, like the vampire attack on Ethereum protocols to provide yield for buying pressure on PulseChain? Yeah, I'm sure it'll, in hindsight, it's always made, I think about this, I'm like, when Lex Friedman interviews Richard Hart in 2025, or 2030 or something like that, and if Richard ever talks about a lot of stuff or his plans or the entities who perform the actions or give us any insight like that, well, first, I think it'd be obvious in hindsight at some point once we see what happens with this. But speculating when it first happens is tough, because if there's not a clear move other than buying ETH, you don't know. Even if you say, okay, this is probably gonna be bridged to PulseChain, or maybe something with HEX or something, there's not like this clear connection to the dots. Now, Max 6 months from now, or Max tomorrow, may say, oh, look, it was so obvious once you connect the dots. But yeah, at this moment, just got pure speculation.